Make sure 2024 was the last year anybody told you that skateboarding was invented by surfers, because it wasn't.
You sure about that?
So Instagram's algorithm suggested this video to me about the true origins of skateboarding not coming from surfers. According to the skatebot on Instagram, self-proclaimed professional skateboard advocate. Wow, very cool stuff. His Insta video really triggered the gifted hater inside of me, emphasis on the word hate. So I had to make a debunking video on it because it's so disrespectful to skateboarding itself. Seriously though, it is. So let's go through the fallacious illogical sophistry being presented in this professional skateboard advocate's little skate history video, with the claimed scooter kids in the cities accidentally invented skateboarding by breaking their scooters. Let's get started.
To the quarter pipe, we saw Natas there, and like when he came up to the quarter pipe, going up to the top, banged it, like hit it right off the top of that thing, and we're like, whoa. Because, you know, his style is more from surfing.
This picture from 1910 shows kids on homemade crate scooters. Skateboards weren't invented, they came into existence by accident when these crate scooters would break.
We have all seen Back to the Future, which is fictional of course. A comment on his video asked, do you have any proof or photos of these city kids riding these broken scooters as skateboards? What's the professional skateboard advocate's response? No thanks.
What's that supposed to mean?
Hello? Hello, anybody home?
So just pure blind speculation, nothing factual or logical to back anything up, copying the idea from Back to the Future, which all skaters have seen and likely have grown up on.
And the starting point for skateboarding, the origin of all skateboarding, is cities, the urban environment, and kids pushing back against relentless development, which took away their open-ended play spaces.
Scooter kids pushing back against open-ended development in cities is how skateboarding was accidentally created? What the hell does that even mean? What are you talking about, dude? This is what you sound and look like when you're saying this sort of thing. Okay, I would imagine most kids got into this form of scootering because it was a form of fun transportation at the time. The idea kids of this era were motivated in their young minds to push back against the open-ended city development is a little weird. The kids didn't like all the skyscrapers or something? Is this dude trying to conflate Mark Gonzalez or Natas street skating with these scooter kids? That's kind of disrespectful. These kids weren't grinding ledges or doing tail whips into handrails in an active city development rebellion. Generally, kids get into skateboarding because it's fun and cool, not to be punk rock posers.
So they made skateboards and crate scooters that turned wheels into a tool that allowed the urban environment to become a new open-ended play space.
Not a single picture with these kids with distinct skateboards. That's a lot of flowery fancy language based on a single photograph, which looks like 3 kids racing on a flat street. The act of racing is almost antithetical to modern street skateboarding culture. Just saying. Not doing Natas spins or board slides on an urban cityscape in a progressive futurist environment punk rock activist play space, bro.
Eric, where do you think street skating came from?
I don't know, for me it was just like leaving the house. When I was a little kid in the 70s, I'd leave the house, you know, escape the driveways around my house, pretend I was surfing, and then it turned into me wanting to skate pools, and then me pretending I wanted to skate a pool.
So it wasn't pretending you wanted to do your freestyle routine.
There is a reason why surfers do kickflips like that. It's because their boards don't work for kickflips, and the idea of a kickflip didn't come from surfing, it came from skateboarding.
A kickflip on a surfboard is one of the hardest tricks ever. A handful of dudes have even landed it. No one claims surfers on surfboards invented kickflips. What are you talking about? This is a fallacious strawman, arguing against something no one has even claimed, and you're pretending that you're making a logical point. You are not. And using the shape of a surfboard as an argument is absurdly stupid, as skateboards themselves have drastically changed shape over time. Kickflips on freestyle boards were pretty mob looking at the time. Just like Mark Gonzalez had a pretty mob kickflip. And so did Natas, which is how surfboard kickflips look. Mob.
Surfing is great, surfers are cool, surfers added a lot to skateboarding for around 10 or 15 years from the 60s to the 70s.
No, the origins of skateboarders pushing back against something because you're so focused on whatever that means largely originated in sneaking into backyard pools, which came from the 70s Dogtown and Z-Boys era, which in the early 80s evolved into freestyle and then eventually street. Rodney, Mark, Gonzalez, and arguably the true father of street skateboarding, Natas, Satan backwards, who fittingly was a surfer and a skater. Heavily influenced by surfing when you watch his skating, quite obviously. You see the disrespect that you are engaged in, bruh? Skateboarding is a culture, not merely the act of rolling on scooter wheels, dude. There is zero evidence of these 1910 scooter kids having a direct influence on modern street skating and its culture. There is no magazines that were birthed out of these scooter kids in cities, but there is evidence of the Dogtown and Z-Boys era of surfer skaters like Stacy Powell Peralta influencing Rodney Mullen or Tony Hawk, who rode for Powell Peralta, and Mullen, via his freestyle, invented all modern flip tricks, and Mike Tranowski got him to later on start skating street. He was never a street skater to begin with. There is a direct line of observable influence from surf to modern skate culture, Natas being the perfect example of it.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think McFly, think.
And again, look at his skating, heavily surfed out, bro. Hell yeah, sick. Rebelling against the existential dread of the cityscape, the poetic pop, subverting society's expectations of withholding handrails for people's hands, bro.
But what we know as skateboarding today, the ollie, the kickflip, all the tricks, that comes from skateboarding. And the origins of that are the built environment, the urban environment, kids pushing back against it.
Obviously, there is a mechanical parallel with wheels and a board with these kids on the crate scooters, but there is no evidence that skate culture ever coming directly out of this. Arguably, no, those tricks were not invented in a cityscape. They were actually invented in Rodney Mullen's garage, which is a very different place than an open-ended cityscape. Skating is a lifestyle, not just a sport, not just wheels on the ground. It's a culture, bro. Fighting in the cityscapes and grinding concrete to free ourselves from political oppression and the lame pirate adults.
We kill pirates.
So surfers didn't invent skateboarding, and your proof of this is just asking everyone if a surfer invented the ollie. The inventor of the bike didn't create the bar spin, but that doesn't take away from anything. The inventors of things don't also make the tricks. That's a ridiculous argument. Professional skateboard historian responds, don't try to get in if you can't grasp what's going on. Projection, anyone? Dude points out his flawed logic, asking a relevant Socratic question, and then is gaslit because facts and truth of skateboarding don't actually matter. Only the appearance of being right. Wow, seems like a true philosophical skate expert if you ask me. Nah, surfing was ancient in Hawaii and the precursor to modern skateboarding. Cool content though. LOL, name the surfer who invented the ollie. Wow, so logical. I have a question for you, professional skate advocate, to use your own brilliant logic against you. Name the 1910 scooter kid who invented the ollie. Oh, you can't? 160k views on misinformation? Okay, cool. Alan Ollie skated for Stacy Peralta's The Skate Surfers Company? No way. I wonder if he took influence from him.
You know anything about skateboard history, you know that Rodney Mullen was not trying to use a skateboard to copy surfing. He was using a skateboard to figure out what could he do with it with his body.
Hey, McFly! Yeah, I've seen you around.
He made this in response to people questioning his initial video. No one claimed this about Rodney Mullen. Again, this is a straw man trying to divert away from why he is objectively wrong about his initial claims. Skatebud, if you want to engage in skate philosophy and history, you want to practice avoiding logical fallacies and allow the Socratic method. Because your entire video, even outside of facts and pictures you're showing, is literal nonsense, seemingly entirely based upon watching Back to the Future as a kid. The truth is, bud, Rufio and the Lost Boys invented skateboarding in Never Never Land, the place beyond time. That's the real truth, dude. All right? Skaters, surfers, and snowboarders have a special word for this sort of thing. It's called kook. Thanks for watching. I get very offended when my religion of skateboarding is blasphemed by pseudo-intellectual posers. Harsh, right? Locals only, bruh. Don't insult the legends of skateboarding. Okay, dude? Thanks. Please like, share, subscribe, comment below. Thank you very much, and bye.